The mist lay thick over the shores of Neverland, curling like smoke around the island's many secrets. Shadows slipped between the trees, and the air hummed with a foreboding stillness that was rarely found in a place as full of life and magic as this. Peter Pan darted through the underbrush, his heart pounding not from excitement, but from fear, a fear he rarely felt. Wendy was missing, and he had no idea where to find her. It had started as a normal day in Neverland, with Peter and the Lost Boys planning their next big adventure. Wendy had been especially excited about exploring the heart of the island, an area that even Peter had rarely ventured into. Peter had warned her about strange whispers he'd heard, stories from the fairies about an old and forgotten creature that lurked in the depths of the forest. A creature known to pull travelers into its lair, never to return. Wendy had dismissed the stories, her adventurous spirit undeterred by the tales of monsters and mysteries. But now, Wendy was nowhere to be found. The lost trail. Peter searched for any sign of Wendy as he flitted over dense bushes and towering trees, his keen eyes scanning for her familiar figure. He had a nagging feeling that something was very wrong. Wendy would never wander off without telling him, and the forest felt different today, quieter, as though it, too, was holding its breath. Near the riverbank, he noticed faint footprints, Wendy's, leading deeper into the woods. Peter followed them until they disappeared into a thick patch of grass. Kneeling down, he saw that the grass had been pressed flat, as though something large had dragged itself through here. His skin prickled at the sight, and he took a deep breath, steeling himself. What kind of creature could leave a mark like this? Peter murmured, squinting at the trail. Suddenly, a faint noise caught his attention, a low hum, almost like singing, coming from deeper within the forest. His heart thumped with a mixture of hope and trepidation. Could it be Wendy? Or something else entirely? The fairies' warning following the sound, Peter came across a clearing where the air shimmered with a faint golden light. Dozens of fairies flitted around, their wings humming in unison. As soon as they noticed Peter, they stopped, staring at him with wide, worried eyes. "Tinker Bell," Peter called, hoping his friend was among the fairies. A tiny, glimmering figure buzzed over to him, her usual mischievous sparkle dimmed with worry. "What's going on, Tink?" Peter asked, sensing her unease. Tinker Bell fluttered close, speaking in her delicate language of bells and chimes. Peter listened carefully, his face growing serious as she explained. "There's a creature," Tinker Bell chimed, "an old spirit of the forest that awakens when outsiders tread too close. It's called the Morrowshade, a creature of shadows that can take many forms. It doesn't like intruders." Peter's heart sank as Tinker Bell continued, "It's said to lure people in with soft voices, and once they're close enough, it traps them in an endless maze. Wendy must have heard its call." Peter exclaimed, his eyes widening. He clenched his fists. "I have to find her." Tinker Bell tried to stop him, her bells tinkling in distress. "It's too dangerous, Peter. If you go in, it may trap you, too." But Peter shook his head, his jaw set with determination. "I don't care. Wendy's my friend. I'm not leaving her in there." The fairies watched him silently as he turned and headed deeper into the forest, his resolve hardening with each step. The maze of shadows. The forest grew darker as Peter ventured further in. The air was thick and heavy, and he could no longer hear the sounds of birds or rustling leaves. It was as though the forest itself had fallen silent, waiting for something. Peter saw strange shapes in the shadows, forms that seemed to move when he wasn't looking directly at them.